All right, and thank you for sticking around with us. And for all of you that are just joining in, this is Smart Means Business, your morning Kickstarter. And we're into more of the breakfast discussions, I would say. And this particular type of conversations that we're going to have with the guest I have in studio is to do with Electoral Commission as they are preparing for the elections, for the women elections. And we want to get an overview and the feel of what is going to be happening during the elections. What are the preparations so far, the money invested in there, and what are the key things to expect from the elections. And joining me on set, I do have a gentleman from the Uganda Electoral Commission. The independent, is it the independent?
The Electoral Commission.
The Electoral Commission.
Yes.
Okay. Please, the viewer out there would want to know your name.
Thank you very much, Smart TV, first of all, for inviting us and letting us engage the public in matters to do with elections. My name is Nsube Richard. I come from the Electoral Commission, from the Department of Public Relations. Thank you very much for inviting us. Thank you very much for being a very vibrant Fourth Estate. Okay. Should I delve into the process immediately, or what
at least I would want to know, first give us an overview of the elections that are coming up for the women.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to salute Ugandans for coming up in large numbers during the 2020-2021 general elections. They elected their leaders throughout the country, from president, from governments. I want to salute them amidst challenges of COVID-19 and financial challenges. But they came up in large numbers and elected, decided to elect their leaders. Kudos for that. After general elections, we had what we call by-elections. There we were filling those gaps that had missed, where people did not elect their leaders because of no nominations, because of failure to conquer of violence. So the commission conducted the by-elections at local government level, which was very successful. After that, in 2018, we had elections of the women councils and committees, and also for administrative units. That's LC1 and LC2. So for the women councils and committees, their term of office is 4 years, according to the National Women's Act. So the commission decided that this time, let's do the verification. Let's go and harmonize the administrative units. That is the villages, the parishes, the sub-counties, so that we get to know exactly how many do we have in the country. Because previously we used to have issues. You go to the local government, you go to the cow, has different number of villages. You go to the planner, has a different number of villages. You go to the electoral commission. So this time we made sure that we harmonize. So we rolled out a verification process that helped us to harmonize. So we went to the district and then in conjunction with the Minister of Local Government. Okay. So we're asking them, how many villages do you have? Do they have the statutory instrument? Okay. Then Electoral Commission, what do we have? So we harmonized using legally to make sure that we know the boundaries, we know the numbers of villages, we know the numbers of parishes, because we have some villages that are in places that are disputed, like the Upper Saga, where the government says it's a national reserve, it's a forest reserve. The locals are saying, no, this is our place. So we harmonized that, and now we've rolled out, after verification and harmonizing, we've rolled out the campaign to conduct the women councils and committee elections. And that's why we are here, so that at the end of the day, women, because these elections are progressive in nature, we are going to elect from the village to the national level. So women are going to come and participate and elect their leaders at village level, which will progressively, which will progress to the national level. Okay. So far, yes, that's what we've done so far.
So I would also want to know, If you're to give us also the roadmap, the prepared roadmap for these elections, so that at least the viewer can as well also get to understand more as they're going to prepare to elect their women leaders.
Yes. Thank you very much. The Commission has rolled out a roadmap that we are going to use to help us conduct these elections. This is shortly we are going to have the compilation of the women's register. Now that's the registration. People are going to go and register. That's going to be from the 10th to the 13th of June 2022. Then we shall have the display of the women's register at the village level, which will start from the 23rd to the 24th of June 2022. Then we shall have the nomination of candidates at the sub-county headquarters, which will commence on 27th, and then it will end on the end of July. Then we shall have the candidates' campaign meetings, which will start on the 4th to the 6th of July. And then we shall have the polling day, which will take place on the 7th of July. That's at village level. Then progressively we shall go to the parish level. Very fast, and to be brief. From the 8th compilation of the parish stroke ward women council register will be on 8th to the 9th of July 2022. Then the display of the register will be on the 11th to 12th of July. Then the nomination of candidates at parish level will be from the 13th to the 14th of July. Candidates campaign meetings 18th to the 20th of July. And then polling day will be on the 22nd. Briefly, I think that's the program. We shall also have at sub-county level, but at least I've highlighted from the village and then parish level. But like I said, we shall progressively move from the village to the national level.
You've mentioned about going to these areas to ask how prepared they are.
Yes.
My question would be, how prepared is the Electoral Commission for these elections?
Thank you very much. We are very prepared, both mentally, with the human resource, socially, economically, financially, we are prepared. And all our staff, both at the headquarters and in the field, are very prepared. We've already rolled out this program to the stakeholders. Yesterday, we launched this program to the media. So we think and we are very sure that now this information is trickling down. So as the Commission, we are prepared. But maybe briefly, what I can talk about these activities, maybe I can talk about a few things that we expect from the women that are going to participate in these elections. At compilation, that's registration. For you to participate in these elections as a woman, first of all, you have to be a woman. Now, the specifics of being a woman are very, very clear. That's in the structure. You have to be a woman. Not the way you dress, not the way you behave, not the way you look. You have to be a woman. Then you have to be a citizen of Uganda of 18 years and above. You have to be willing to participate, take part. And then you have to be a resident of that very village. A resident, not any other thing. You have to be a resident.
You're not supposed to relocate today. And
for instance, I come from Busoga, from Kamuli. That's my place of origin. But I stay in Wakiso. So I cannot go to Busoga because it's my place of origin, and then I contest.
You're supposed to contest in Wakiso?
Yes, because that's my place of residence. So those are the basics. Those are the requirements that we need from a woman. And but you have to register in that very book, but willingly. If you belong to a political party, you have to be sponsored by that political party. So that's at registration level. Yes.
Now let's get into the issue of its impact to the women.
Yes.
Why the Electoral Commission would decide to have these elections separately, and of what impact does it have to women in society?
First of all, thank you. By law, there are different acts that govern these elections. Administrative unit elections are governed differently from the general elections. As the Electoral Commission, for us, our job, our duty is to make sure that we put our leaders in the different places as mandated by the Constitution. Now, the importance of these elections to to the ordinary person. First of all, the framers of these elections thought of making sure that the involvement of women is massive in nature, because oftentimes we've seen men, trying to kick away or put off the women. So this time, women will organize themselves from the village level to the national level. Now, there are so many government programs that benefit women. For instance, the parish development model. Now, these programs will trickle down from the national level, benefiting that very woman, to the last, to my mother, deep in the village. She'll be able, because they're organized, to the secretary, the chairperson, because there are 3 offices that people are going to vie for. There's the chairperson, there's a vice chairperson, there's a secretary, then there is a secretary publicity secretary, then secretary, finance secretary. Now, the chairperson at that village, my village, the woman chairperson, automatically will go and sit on the committee of the LC1 committee. So it means now this person will be able to advance the issues of the women to the leadership in that village. Okay. Then the third one, I think the most important, is to make sure that we attract women into leadership positions. Because remember, it's progressive. So my mother in the village can contest at village level, and then she's going to progress up to national level. I'm just giving a scenario. So it means she's going to become a national leader. So these elections are very, very important, especially to my mother or my sister down in the village. Yes. Okay.
Now, tracing back on the issue of elections, I would want to look at, there are some by-elections that have been ongoing.
Yes,
so far for the Electoral Commission, I believe. Has it stretched you in any way? With some of those, or if at all you can at least break down for some of the by-elections that have happened this very year,
yes,
away from last year.
Away from last year, I think it's our duty and it's our mandate to conduct elections. Okay, that's why we call the Electoral Commission. Okay, we cannot run away from it. At times we are stretched financially, but we want to thank government. Government is always there because it's always put in the budget. When we have general elections, we always have by-elections. Also, we have, so whenever there's a general election, we anticipate by-elections for different reasons. Courts, like we said, people are thrown out, some people resign, some people, the processes were not complete. So there are some, we've had by-elections at local government level, like I mentioned earlier, where we filled all those vacancies. We are now very sure that all those vacancies are filled. And then we had, so far, we have had 2 by-elections that are now, we have the one in Kayunga for the LC1, sorry, for the LC5 chairperson, and then the most recent one of Omoro. We are not stretched at all. We are always prepared 100%. Financially, yes, at times our budgets are cut because the government will tell you they don't have enough money. I think that's the little stretch we feel. But as Electoral Commission, we always maneuver to make sure that if we have the basics, the available money, whatever they give us, we work within that. Okay. Yeah, but the elections that we've had so far, we've had the by-election in Kayunga to fill the vacancy of the chairperson, LC5. And then the one of the Omoro County. Okay. Yes.
So now let's get into something to do with the financial part of it. You told me how prepared you are financially, and I would want to at least dig deeper into that. How much, if you to give us a breakdown of the figures, have you invested as the Electoral Commission into the upcoming women elections?
Thank you very much. I don't have the figures off head, but I'm sure we are going to spend 35 plus billions.
35 plus
35 years.
Okay.
Yes.
If you to at least look at that, do you believe it is wise for us to
have elections?
With this economic
yes. You see, what makes any institution, any country, is leadership. You may want to save money, But when there's a gap in leadership, whatever program you have will not progress. So these elections are very important.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that each and every institution has leadership. And the Electoral Commission, our job is to make sure that we put people, provide the spaces, and make sure that we conduct those elections and people elect their leaders. These elections are extremely very important. Now, let's talk about the money issue. For instance, some people may ask, 35 billion? Wow, that can do some other, you can be invested somewhere else.
Yes.
Like I said, you may look at the 35 in lump sum, as a whole.
This is a very huge figure.
As a whole. But when you break it down, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Right now we have people who are going to conduct these elections are called village election officers. Each village is going to have someone employed by the Electoral Commission, paid.
Allowances,
salary, not salary, but allowances in general. Yes.
Okay.
Now, the money that you're going to get as a village election officer, 50,000, 100, or 20,000, whichever, it's going to help you to inject in the economy. You're injecting back.
Yes.
Are you getting it? Yes. People may think now we are spending it, we are wasting it.
And it's not coming back.
It's not coming back. Now, the people who are going to provide us with the materials, we are going to pay them. So which means we are supporting Ugandan businesses. Are you getting it? So at the end of that day, we spend it, but we are giving back to the citizens. And the very citizens are going to invest that money in different aspects. So at the end of that day, it's not wasted money. Because just imagine we have 71, I think 522 villages.
Okay.
Now, all those villages, we are going to have people employed, not only one. Are you getting it?
Okay.
Now, progressively, to the parish level, to the sub-county level, up to the district level and national level. Now, we're employing people. And these are Ugandans. We are going to give money, and they are going to use it for different reasons, but they are going to invest it back. Because if someone gets 50,000, they can go and engage in farming in my village deal.
Okay.
Or they can buy something, maybe a few iron sheets. Okay. So at the end of the day, that money is invested back in the economy.
Does this 35 billion
yes.
also, if we're to at least break it down as well,
yes.
Does it mean that the election equipment is part of the 35 billion or that was already procured?
The 35 is, that's what they give us to spend.
To spend. With the election equipment.
Yes. Now, yes, ballot paper. Now, I think
that's using the ballot boxes for last year.
No, actually, let's go into that. Okay. Maybe let me break it briefly.
Yes.
We talked about the registration.
Yes, please.
Now, after registration, we are going to display. We shall display. Now, displaying means the people who have been willing and they have registered, we shall display those who have been registered in our books, customized books. And then people will come and then we say, Mr. Sonko. Sonko, here is really, he looks tall, but he's 18 years. He's below 18 years. So people will come and then scrutinize. Then we shall go into nominations. Now, nominations, briefly, you shall nominate at the sub-county level. 1, no nomination fees. 2, you suppose you go and appear as a person. But then when it comes to voting, because that's why I wanted to ask your question, voting is going to be by lining up. That's how we've tried to cut the costs. Okay. Because it would go into so many billions.
Okay.
Now, for any woman, even I also want to elections, if I'm a candidate, people will go and line up behind me. Now, the election officer is going to count. Whoever gets the most number of votes is declared winner. Now, this time, the 35 billion is catering for everything. The equipment, the polling officials, the Electoral Commission staff in terms of fuel, in terms of so many things, in terms of publicity. That's what they give us. And we have to work within. And when you look at it, it's very little money. It looks big.
Okay.
but it's very little money.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about lining up, I think it's the most effective way of doing an election process. If I remember my days in primary, though, after the election process, people get to, you know,
rowdy, the excitement,
excitement, but then a voter clearly knows now who voted for him. Imagine picturing yourself and they tell you it's only one person who voted. Now you start wondering and all that. Okay, lastly, I'm giving you 2 minutes to throw in your parting remarks for a viewer out there. One in regards to the preparation of the elections and what else the Uganda Electoral Commission has got.
Thank you very much. Now, as a business entity, this station, I think I want to still emphasize that the 35 billion, that money is going to trickling back to the economy, and people are going to spend it wisely. Now, it's not money wasted. It's money invested indirectly. We are electing our leaders, but also giving back. Not giving back, but also paying people the allowances, the allowances they are going to use to sustain their livelihoods. I want to call upon all political parties and organizations, all media practitioners, the press and all stakeholders to mobilize and inform the women that we have elections. And these elections are very important to them. They should come and participate so that they determine the destiny of this country. The majority of the people we have in terms of gender are women. Women are more than men. So whenever they come as a bloc, their voices will be heard. For us as Electoral Commission, we are very ready to conduct these elections. Also very ready to listen to any query, any complaint, or any suggestion. I want to thank Smart TV so much, 100%, and I also bring greetings from my superiors that please, thank you so much for enlightening the country in terms of the economics, in terms of so many things. We are so grateful.
Did I get the names right? Mr. Richard
Nsube. Nsube is my name.
And is Mr. Richard Nsube from the Electoral Commission. I think after my discussion with him on set, we shall be discussing something to do with how we can take part in the elections as media practitioners. I do believe that is a very huge concern, like he highlighted.
True. Yes.
But like you said, 35 billion Ugandan shillings shouldn't be looked at as a very huge amount of money, as the Ugandans tend to actually throw in tantrums on social media. But at least get to understand that this money is going to be dispersed. And then after dispersing, it's getting back into the economy. So it's getting back into the value chain. At the end of the day, you will see making more returns to the government, and then we are all benefiting. And at the end of it all, everyone who takes part in the election at least has to receive some allowance in one way. However small it is, but at least their effort has to be accounted for. And that is our topic that we've had for you. Our second topic of the day, looking at the women elections. As we wait for that, we shall be giving you more updates as they come in from the Electoral Commission and the entire roadmap. Good morning. I'm getting back with more SMB reports, local, and then sports business.
Thank you so much.